You're listening to the Hella Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Today, I want to talk about waiting on apologies. We've all been there. We've all waited for an apology that someone has wronged us, and we're like, okay, they're going to apologize because they know they were wrong. They know what they did was dirty. They could have treated me better. I deserve better. They know it. I know it. Yet, we could be waiting weeks. We can be waiting years, or it can just never happen. And that's what I want to talk about today, waiting on an apology. I know last week I talked about letting go of resentment and anger, and that's great and all. And letting go and waiting on the apology sometimes don't always mix together in our minds. Like we may think I've let something go, but you may still have that memory of, yet I'm still waiting on the apology. And so if you're still waiting on the apology, 9 out of 10, you haven't let it go. And that's okay, because we're all at different stages of our healing process. But one of the things that I really want to talk about today was those things that we do when we are waiting on an apology. You know what I'm talking about? You write those passive aggressive, social media posts that are about them, but don't mention them. And you're like, okay, someone's going to get this message to them so that they know that I'm still waiting on my apology from them. And you're just trying to give signals to say, hey, remember, you owe me an apology. When again, likelihood of them seeing that post, slimmer than slim. Does it make you feel any better? I've done it. It hasn't made me feel better. Maybe it makes you feel better, but I gotta believe it's not the solution we're looking for. And when we're waiting on these apologies, it's holding us back from our healing. An example I can give from my own personal life was I was molested as a child, and the person who molested me apologized to my parents, but to this day, 2022, has yet to apologize to me. And I'm just like, how is that possible that you can come to my parents and say, oh, I'm so sorry, what I did to your daughter was wrong, but has never taken the accountability with me? So I have been waiting on that apology. I have moments when I've let it go, and there's moments when it creeps back into my memory. It's like, you are so shady. You are such a bad person. And I'm angry. And I have to remember to myself or remind myself that anger is probably just the surface level of the emotion in these situations. Anger is like phase one of this waiting for apology. You're angry. But if you start digging deeper and going into more of your mind and your body and feeling those emotions, it's disappointment. I'm disappointed that this person has yet to acknowledge what the hurt that happened to me as a child. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper. I'm sad because that hurt me. Go a little bit deeper. I'm sure there's other emotions that are showing up. And it's when we get to that root emotion of whatever that anger is, or that anger is showing up as the surface, because anger is the mask. Anger is the makeup on. It's taking off the makeup of the situation to where you get to the root of why, that root feeling, that root emotion, that's really the reason why you're waiting on this apology. And you can wait. I'm not saying anything is wrong with waiting per se. If that's where you are in your healing process, and that's where you are in your mindset, then all means wait on that apology. But if you're kind of tired of waiting on an apology and recognizing that it ain't serving you, this podcast is for you. This conversation is for you, because I'm really tired of hearing the wellness community tell us, oh, sis, just manifest the life you desire and it's going to be okay. If you're out here trying to manifest this apology, sis, you may be waiting for a while. And I want you to think about this, because if the person didn't have the capacity to recognize that what they did may have been wrong, why would they have the capacity to think that, oh, I should apologize for this thing that I don't even think I did wrong? Nah, it don't work that way. So, but if we're out here saying, oh, I'll just manifest that the apology will come, I could just stay positive and it's going to happen. There's a fine line. Someone said, I forgot who it was, but someone said there's a fine line between being positive and neglecting the truth. And oftentimes when we have these moments of just manifest it, sis, it's going to happen. You could manifest that apology. We're acting like we can't see the truth. And sometimes the truth is that the person just ain't going to apologize. The truth is we don't even need the apology because the work that needs to happen to let it go and to release it is all within us. You don't need the person. So if there's someone who is not alive and you are still waiting for an apology mentally from them and emotionally and feeling that in your body, there are ways to let go of that need of the apology. That need to apology is like gripping on to the hurt because I can't let it go until I get the apology. I can't let it go. And that's just hurting you. It's hurting you on so many levels. And I'll be the first one to admit I have neglected the truth. I have neglected the truth because I didn't want to believe the truth. I had someone who literally stole $2,000 from me, like a friend who I counseled several times on so many different things. I was there for her when she couldn't afford a therapist. And she literally took $2,000 from me in a way that I was just like, wow, I let you come on this trip under the guise that, oh, of course, yeah, you'll pay a little bit later. We're good. Like, I got you. You would never do me dirty. And let me be clear, it's not about the money because I know I'm abundant enough to where that money will flow some other way. So I had let go of the money a long time ago. It was the fact that this person I called a close friend. I don't call many people close friends. And I let you into my inner circle would have the audacity to think so little of me to where she thought it was okay. That's where I got hurt. That's where I felt that I was like holding on, waiting for this apology. For me, neglecting the truth was me wanting to not accept that this person doesn't care about me. It was me accepting that this person is would do this and think that it's okay and that this person is not someone that I can call a friend, that I had to let go of the friendship. But it wasn't even letting go of the friendship. One thing that we can sometimes forget when we're talking about letting go of situations and letting go of, the pain and the anger, whatever, in that whole grief process, you're also letting go of the person you were with that person. You sometimes feel like you have to let go of those happier memories when you still have those negative memories with it. And that can be hard too. And so for me, I wanted to neglect the truth. I won't lie. Sometimes holding on, waiting for that apology allowed me the opportunity to not accept what was right in front of my face, that this is not someone I need in my life. And that's when we get into the process of healing. It's like if you're at the point where you're like, I kind of think that this ain't happening, or I'm kind of ready to let this go. If the apology is not coming, start your healing process. Start the grief process. Start feeling all the feels, digging through the emotions until you get to the root emotion that's going on, accepting that you deserve better, accepting your role in this, accepting that it takes two to be in a relationship and you consented to this relationship. I consented into holding on to this anger and wanting to get this apology. I've accepted, I have to recognize and accept that I consented to neglecting seeing this person for who they were in any situation where I felt like I needed that apology, because you're consenting to not seeing or not accepting People will show you who they are. You just got to sit there and watch and listen. It's in there. And then once you kind of get to past that accepting part, which may take some time, and it may take repeat situations where you have to do it over and over again. It may not be, okay, I accepted, I moved on, I know I deserve better. That may happen, and then you'll have a wave of emotion and you'll find yourself back in this. I'm waiting for the apology. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I'm disappointed. And it's okay. It's okay to have to go through this a couple times, depending on how close the relationship was, what your relationship was, that hurt of that need for that apology may run deep. It may run deep to where you got to do this process a couple times for it to clear out. It's just like you're kind of your body's dirty and like you've been out in, I don't know, Burning Man. And if you've ever heard of Burning Man, it feels like you need hella showers to just get all the dirt off you, especially the dirt off the car. So it may take a couple washes and it's okay. Wash as often as you need to. Cleanse your mind, your emotions, your body as often as you need to be able to get to the point of letting go of needing that apology. Because when you hold on to needing, I'm waiting on that apology, all it is affecting you. It's not affecting them. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not a psychic, but if I was, I gotta believe they're not over there thinking, oh, dang, Danielle's waiting on an apology from me. I should consider apologizing. It's burning in my heart. I feel so guilty that I never apologized. No, they're out there living their best life because, again, if they didn't have the capacity to think they did something wrong, and even if they did, and they still haven't apologized yet, they're not thinking about you. Sorry, really not sorry is their mentality. And that's what it is. What you can take from this is, what are the lessons? What can I learn to better myself in the future? How can I have discernment in how I show up in relationships, how I show up and who I picked to allow into my space, into my energy? How can I figure out how I consented? Sometimes we have to dig into that aspect of like, how did I consent to this relationship? How did I consent into neglecting the truth? And the other aspect that is, sometimes you have to just think about it and keep it real. Some people aren't good people. Some people just kind of suck. And it is what it is. It's not always that, oh, you know, this happened and maybe it's because of that. Some people just are crappy people, period. And it's okay to come to that conclusion too. There is not a lesson that I just chose to be around someone who has no morals or is a certain way or whatever it is. But if you don't allow yourself to get to the reality of, dun, da, 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 this needs to go. Because what if this happening is for your good, happened for you and not to you? What if, as I said before, this person just sucks? What if the universe is allowing this to happen in your life so you can get to a higher place, but you're still holding on to, I need the apology? I recognize that in many of the situations that occurred, including me being molested as a child, was to help me level up to another level. And it may sound weird, but like, I don't regret any of those things happening to me. I don't regret absolutely one situation that I felt like someone wronged me and I needed an apology at one point in time in life. I don't regret any of those because it helped me level up. It was what I needed to continue on my healing journey. It was not a I got that right away kind of moment. It took several years. It took several cleansings and different processes to get to this mindset. And even with this mindset, that doesn't mean I don't still have moments I'm like, dang, I'm waiting for this apology. I can tell you right now, I can think of 3 people I'm waiting for an apology from. And it is what it is. And I recognize even through doing this podcast that I need to grieve those relationships. I need to take actual steps to grieve those relationships because I can sit here and say, I'm waiting for the apology, but I also can sit here and say, it ain't coming. And I can also say, I am neglecting the truth, the reality that's sitting right in front of me. that all of those relationships I'm thinking about are ones that are not keeping me in alignment with my highest self. They're not situations that make me feel better. There are relationships that make me feel like that don't feel good. I feel tightness in my chest. I feel pain in my stomach when I think of those people, not when I think about what occurred to get us to this point where we are, but when I think about the relationships we had. So why am I holding on to something that I didn't really feel good about? Because I was like, oh, but maybe things will be better if I just stay positive and they're just going through this, or I was making so many excuses of why I needed to keep those relationships when the universe was saying, hey, sis, it's time to let it go, let it go, let it go. And letting go and accepting that that relationship wasn't for you. And it's okay to let go and accept that the relationship it wasn't for you, but also it doesn't mean that the memories are erased. You don't get this, chip once you've let go that says, dun, 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 dun. Your memories of that person, the relationship, everything that occurred have officially been wiped. There's no wiping of the memories. So it may come up again and they may need to cleanse again. You may need to go through this process again. And that is okay. That doesn't mean that you haven't let it go and accept the situation. It just means that, oh my God, wait, you're human too? Oh my God, yeah, things happen. Memories show up again. We have to repeat things over again. That's life. That's healing. That's why I say healing is not a destination, it is a journey. And this waiting for apology, letting go, and memories coming up and you going through the process again, that's part of the healing journey. And you're going to be okay or not. But it's your choice. It's your choice whether you get through this fast or slow. It's your choice to whether you're able to say, this apology ain't coming. This ain't a good look waiting. Me at the door, like maybe today's the day. Is today the day they're gonna apologize? Oh, maybe it's tomorrow. Okay, let me get dressed for the apology. Okay, I'm ready now. It's your choice to be like, no, it's time to take off the good clothes, take off the makeup or the mask of this feeling and this, I could just manifest that they're going to do better and recognize that for me, for my healing, for my journey, for me to move on, it's time for me to let go of waiting for an apology. I'd love to hear from you guys about how do you feel about this? Are you waiting for an apology? Did this resonate with you? Did this make you think a little bit different about waiting for the apology and forgiveness? I mean, well, it's not even forgiveness. It's a whole other conversation. I'm not even talking about forgiveness. I just want to hear, how does it make you feel when you think about, are you waiting for apology? How are you neglecting the truth? Are you and why are you neglecting the truth? If you feel like you are neglecting the truth, and how can you start your grieving process? What does that grieving process look like? My grieving process may look different than yours, and it's okay. I did a podcast episode on grieving, which I 100% recommend listening to because I think that will help in this process. And I myself is going to listen to that again because I think I need to go through the grieving process and I need help. And so I want to listen to that one more time. So, all right. I hope y'all have a good week and you get something on this. And I hope this made you think a little bit harder about waiting on those apologies, sending those passive aggressive social media posts, that hoping that someone's going to change when they've showed you the capacity that they don't have it in them. That's what I got for you. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Ciao. Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you like hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.